Howdy y'all, Christi here with Little Salty Homesteader. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am just going to do a quick morning garden walkthrough, and I thought that I'd bring you guys along since I didn't have any videos last week. I just wanted to show you guys kind of what I do whenever I do my morning walkthroughs. Look for any issues, look to see what needs to be watered, look for stuff that needs to be harvested, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so usually with my walkthroughs, I start with these raised beds over here, the okra patch, and then the trellis, of course. So I'll just kind of walk around, assess, see if I see any horrific bug situations happening, if I see anything that might need to be harvested. Like we have some shishito peppers here that I could come harvest. I'm gonna do a stir fry for dinner tonight, so I'll throw those in there. These can be harvested as well. And then I have some phenomenal cow peas blooming. This is my first time noticing those, so that's really exciting. Looks like maybe I missed a bloom yesterday because there's a little baby pea there, so that's pretty cool. And then I'll walk along the back and just kind of check out the okra. So we have one ready to be harvested here, another one there. So we have a couple of okras at least. Calendula. Right there. I did heavily fertilize 9 days ago, I believe, so everything is looking really bushy because of that. So at some point this week I'll need to come do another basil pruning, deadhead some marigolds, stuff like that, kind of get things back under control. I was sick all last week with COVID, so I didn't really get any gardening done last week. So I did get a couple of things planted. I planted the spark and the mandarin pumpkins along the trellis here, and then I planted the black bear pumpkins in the middle because they are a bush variety. And sorry, try to get that in focus for you there. So it looks like the black bear have germinated, at least in this bed. These have not germinated yet. I need to come through and get the daily watering done. The red noodle beans are starting to bloom. You can see here, these have the same kind of lavender colored blossoms that the green ones do. And then we had, here we go. So you can see these are red. There's a couple more, they're not quite red yet, but these are starting to produce, so that's really good. The cantaloupe is really starting. This is Kajari melon, not cantaloupe. Brain fog a bit. So there we have a little baby. So pretty exciting stuff. Yesterday when I had a little bit of energy, I cut some of the flower heads off of this Marl's mixed sunflower. Those are inside. I need to pull the seeds off of them so that I'll have seeds for next year. And then I'll usually just continue my walkthrough through the rest of the beds. This one's going to be very similar to that one. We have quite a large hamey melon here. And then green noodle beans, of course. I harvested several yesterday, so that's why it doesn't look super productive right now. And then I'll just check for more okra on the plants. That one's still a little small. I know there was one down here yesterday, so that one will be ready today. You can see there. And then one thing I did want to point out is I have a chrysalis from the swallowtail caterpillars. This is the only one that I've seen. I know there's more, I just haven't dug through everything to try to find them. This one I stumbled upon on accident, so it is right there. Anyway, so that's really cool. Kind of got to follow the whole life cycle of the swallowtail. Hopefully we'll get to catch the butterfly emerging from that, but if not, that's okay too. Before I got sick, I did come through and plant some more peas out in all of the beds that had peas in them, just to try to fill in the space, get some more food producing. Most of them have germinated, so those are the shorter ones that you see here. This bed has the pink eye, purple hole cowpeas, and it also has the black bear. Oh, look at there. Good morning. Good morning. How lovely. This one also has a black bear, pumpkin seeds planted. I don't think it's germinated. Also pumpkins back there. I need to come through and water, like I was saying. I pulled out the partial eclipse squash from here because it was just infested with baby squash bugs and it was really gross. But these two beds are looking really well otherwise, especially considering I was sick all week and didn't do hardly a thing. So pretty good stuff there. But continuing on with the morning walk, I kind of have to hunch over because of the way the shade cloth is, but these are the, oh my gosh, blue goose cowpeas, and they're producing pretty well. So you can see there several blooms also happening. So we're gonna have some food coming off of these plants soon. And then we have a zinnia blooming. There's a couple of eggplants. There's one on the other side that's actually ready to be harvested. This one's still a little bit small. That one can be harvested. So then we have a little baby there. More blooms. So this bed doesn't have a whole lot happening within it yet. September 1st, cucumber seeds will be planted in here. I can't remember if it's Boston or Chicago pickling cucumber, but that's what's going over here. So hopefully we can get some pickles this year. And then I'm gonna walk on this side because it's easier for me to stand up straight. All right, so I have not harvested peppers in like a week. So I have some that are super ripe, as you can see there, some that are getting ripe, and then some that are just like a good mature size. So again, this is my first time walking through this morning, and I haven't even like dug within the plants to see what all is happening. But it looks like there's several jalapenos there. Grasshopper probably got that one. That is one pest I don't know how to manage, is the dang grasshoppers. This plant has a ton. Oh yeah, all right. So that's super. This one is pumpkin spice, I think. The smaller one is orange, and then this one is lemon. So quite a bit going on there. And then this back bed, yeah, you can see where I have absolutely neglected harvesting. I need to come out and do a big harvest of these. I might have a hornworm situation happening. Yep, there he is. Okay, so I don't like touching them because they gross me out. So I will get my pruning shears and just snip off that part of the plant and then just throw that whole piece away. Rude. But anyway, there's a lot of other peppers that can be harvested that guy didn't damage. Habaneros, I think there's one that's ready. Let's see, it's been out here for a few days, but I haven't harvested it. It's right there. And then Carolina Reapers, I think I've harvested 4 so far, but there's approximately 32 million more. So yeah. There are a few Bueno Mulattos that can be harvested, like these guys down here. So I'll get out here and take care of that a little bit later today too. But let's finish the morning walkthrough. Then I'll kind of take a look in the flower bed. This dandelion needs to be removed. I just really need the energy for it. I haven't had any energy lately, so snapdragon's fizzling out. Still need to cut the salvia back again. The feverfew is blooming though. Right there. Not mad about that at all. That's kind of all we have going on in the flower bed this morning. But, oh, look at here, a happy little snapdragon. I don't know how you're still alive, snapdragon, but I'm happy to see you. Little Nomi is buried under snapdragons. All right, let's take a look at the sunflowers for a minute. Okay, so the sunflowers on this side are doing okay. They're growing. I don't know what's happening there. Something is nibbling on the leaves, but there's still leaves left, so it is continuing to grow. Same thing with this one and these. Not that one. Probably gonna lose this one. And then something ate all of the leaves off of these, so they're going to die. That's really unfortunate. My guess is slugs or roly-polies, because there were both in these grow bags, and it's been an issue trying to manage those all season. So I guess I just need to continue to work on that. All right, let's come take a look at the stuff that's on the patio. Ginger looks pretty good. We had some more new shoots come up in that one, so that's pretty cool. The pepper green stalk, it is actually slowly starting to look better. So in my last weekly update, I think it was the last one, I talked about how I needed to add more soil to these pockets, get some fertilizer in there. Both of those things have been done, so there is new leaf growth. So there is new leaf growth. Hopefully we start to see some new blooms soon because of that. Need to come out and harvest some peppers apparently. This guy, I'm guessing this is a Tabasco, judging by those two peppers right there, which makes total sense because there was a Tabasco pepper growing there last year. So I bet one of the spent peppers just dropped its seeds, and now we have a new Tabasco, which is perfectly fine. The strawberries, they're still alive. I need to come through and still remove all of these like dead, icky leaves and stuff. Again, having the energy to do a lot of things right now is just not happening very well. And then it's been fertilized, it's been well watered, it is growing, it does have some healthy growth happening with it. It's just trying to get rid of all the icky stuff so that the green stuff actually looks like it's green and not dying. Lime tree, this was also fertilized. It's been well watered. So the heat of the afternoon sun is really kind of doing a number on the basil here, but the lime tree is doing fine with it. So I'll probably end up removing some of these basil plants. This one seems to be doing okay, but this one and this one seem to be suffering a bit. And then on to this section over here. Not really anything has changed a whole lot. The Mondavian Dragon Balm has completely fizzled out. That's totally fine. The chamomile has fizzled out, also totally fine. Everything else seems to be doing okay. The mint is actually putting on quite a bit of new growth. I have harvested some of it to make some tea since, you know, we've been sick, but it's even though it looks really ugly, it's doing better than it was. The Marshmallow is still doing pretty well. All these blooms are kind of spent, so that's why it looks kind of not great, but it is pretty healthy otherwise. These plants still look pretty good. So overall, I only saw a couple of issues during the morning walkthrough, and that was that pesky hornworm and then needing to water some things. And then one last stop on the morning walkthrough, check on the little seedlings here. So these are growing quite nicely. Probably in a week or so, we'll get them transplanted out. The coleus didn't do anything. Celosia was kind of spotty, other than the dragon's breath here. That one did really well. But I'll still get everything kind of transplanted into its future home, and then probably next week. And then it will continue to grow and be happy. Sorry, I wasn't even holding the camera in a good place. There. All right, so we have some basils, celosias, and then Persian carpet zinnias there. And then in this tray, I planted some perennials and some annuals. These are pretty heat tolerant things. So we have, well, some of it's heat tolerant. Some of it is going to be planted out at the end of August to kind of overwinter so that it will flower in the spring and summer. And that includes the echinacea, and then the gaillardia. Then we have marigolds, we have petunias, and then we have snapdragons. So for the echinacea, we have one green twister and then 3 paradiso that have germinated, none of the purple. For the gaillardia, 1, 2, 3, 4 double sunset. Most of the marigolds germinated. We had 1 prism sunshine petunia. That's all I see. And then Madam Butterfly bronze with white snapdragon there. Bronze dragon, snapdragon there. It's also all I see, but these were done also before I got sick. So I'll give them a little bit more time, see if we get some more germination happening. But again, these will be transplanted out at the end of August. All right, but that's it for the morning walkthrough. That's usually just what I do. I spend 10-15 minutes kind of walking through, looking for issues, looking for things that need to be harvested, stuff like that, and I'll try to take care of those things throughout the day. I do hope that you enjoyed this kind of quick look at the garden. If you did, please like, subscribe, comment, all those different YouTube things. As I start feeling better, I'll get back to filming more better content, but other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and until next time, go find a way to get those garden manicures. Bye!